Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to talk about Romantasy, how to start, where to start, and here's exactly what I would have done differently. So my reading journey all started when COVID hit. I decided to pick up a book for the first time, and ever since then, I haven't stopped. I love it. I think it came about when I was just scrolling through TikTok, and bear in mind, BookTok, as you know, that's when it was born. I remember seeing so many book recommendations being like, where do I start? I have no idea where to start. And what I did was one of the videos I came across, I was like, right, purchase the book. I bought the book, and my first book of my Romantasy is, drumroll please, A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. So looking back now, it's a very hardcore Romantasy book to start off with. So that's why I'm explaining to you like all the different tips and tricks I would do differently if I was starting off new. I loved the world. I loved the retelling. I loved the Greek gods. I loved that aspect of it. Just read the book and I just felt like I was in a different world. It took me away from reality, and COVID was really hard and hard for everyone, and it just took my mind off it, and it was really good. So that was my journey. So that's where I started, and that's the book I started with. Then I went on to book number 2 in the series, and then I found out she made a second series based on a different point of view from a different character in the book. And that just blew my mind. Like, I was like, what is this world? What have I come into? Like, it was just amazing. I didn't know Romantasy was for me, but I knew I always liked things like Twilight. I liked Teen Wolf. I liked Supernatural. I liked like Sabrina, like witchy stuff like that. I think I've always liked fantasy movies and things like that. So I think I knew I'd like this sort of genre. So once I'd finished the book 1 and book 2 of A Touch of Darkness, I then jumped into the fandom of From Blood and Ash, and that was something that changed my life. This is the world of From Blood and Ash. These beautiful, beautiful, beautiful books. So this is what changed my reading forever. So it's quite controversial because I have seen a lot of people that didn't like this book after reading other series that I'll talk about later. But this book, this series is what got me hooked to Romantasy. I have never read a book like it. I was invested in the characters. I absolutely loved the storyline. I loved the world they were in. I loved the plot twists. And who knew I loved a plot twist? Everything you could ever want is in this book. Everything. There was a betrayal. It just blew my mind, and it made me late to work a few times, I have to admit. I was hooked in reading. I could not put this book down. But this one is the prequel of this book. So this was set before this kind of time zone, but it's kind of got characters that are mentioned in this series, but in this, so you get to fall in love with these characters. It's so good. Looking back on my Goodreads account, I actually think I preferred the romance in the prequel. So I need to do a reread of these books because they're so good. As you could see from the excitement in my face, From Blood and Ash really just ignited my love for Romantasy. So when I finished the From Blood and Ash series, I was like, what do I read next? I felt like I had no options. I felt lost. I was like, what do I do with my life? Like, the books have ended. Like, she's currently writing the next ones. Like, what do I do with my time? Like, my brain was just constantly thinking about the characters and like the theories and just everything. So what I came across was a forum. So there's forums on Reddit I found, there's forums on Facebook. I was just submerged into the fandom of this book series. I was reading everyone's reviews. I just couldn't stop thinking about the book. I then came across that a lot of people on these forums put their book recommendations. So I was definitely having a book hangover, and I was like, I don't know what to read next. I don't want to read something different. Like, I want From Blood and Ash. I just couldn't seem to move past it. On these forums as well, I realised that there's something called fan art. So I've never come across fan art before. So when I was reading these books, I was just picturing what these characters look like. But when you're finished, you can search up your book and search fan art, especially in Pinterest, and it comes up with so many amazing pictures just like this. Like, look at all these amazing pictures. Like, these are the characters, and like when you see fan art, it really just makes the characters come alive. And sometimes what you had in your head, it just is exactly what's on the fan art, and it's just amazing. So I was maybe like 1 or 2 weeks like just constantly looking through the fan arts, being like, oh my gosh, just like saving them on my phone. And yeah, it was a really fun and crazy time. So yeah, once I then found the book recommendations from these people, I then added them to my to be read. So I was seeing everywhere A Court of Thorn and Roses, all over BookTok, all over these book recommendations. So that series, they pronounce it ACOTAR, so that's like the abbreviation of that. And then Throne of Glass. So this is by the author Sarah J. Maas. So I had seen like these mentioned everywhere, like, read these if you want to read Romantasy, read these books. And for me, a new Romantasy reader, I was like, this is a big commitment. I've just finished From Blood and Ash, and I was thinking, do I really want to commit to a 5-book series and then Throne of Glass, which is 7 books? The commitment side really scared me. I was like, this is something big to commit to. It's a lot of time to commit to. I was just really worried. Just look at like the size of these books. They are massive. So yeah, I felt really intimidated by this, and I'd seen some fan pictures as well, and it looked amazing, and everything I was hearing, everyone was recommending it. I then gave in, and I have read ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. I'm just going to take a moment of respect for these books. Throne of Glass will always be my Roman Empire. It holds a place deep in my heart, and I will 100% be rereading those books and ACOTAR because 6 and 7 are coming out. Oh my gosh, little party. So as a new Romantasy reader, I can understand seeing all these big series is really intimidating. So what I recommend you do is start off with a standalone. So what does standalone mean, you may ask? A standalone is just a story in one book. There's no second book, third book, or it might be in a series, but you could just read one book as a standalone in itself, and when the book finishes, it kind of closes that part of the story. So I would recommend starting with a standalone. When you have a standalone, you can then get a taste on if Romantasy is for you. There's no pressure, no commitment, just one book to figure out, is this for me? And I would recommend Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This book is a perfect standalone. It's got magic, it's got romance, and it's not overwhelming. We've got magical libraries, like what more could you want? So I would definitely start off with something like this. If you want help in picking your first Romantasy book, here are some suggestions that I have for you. The Serpent and the Wings of the Night is a really good next step. Depending on how you read it, it's a duology or a trilogy, which basically means 2 books or 3 books. So read this if you want vampires, survival vibes, and a bit of Hunger Games energy. This is some fan art from The Serpent and the Wings of the Night. Another book I recommend is Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is a super addictive book that has dragons, an amazing world. They're at a dragon rider college called Biscayev, which is amazing. Yeah, it's just filled of everything you want. So the next book I'll recommend is The Bridge Kingdom. Read this if you want a forced marriage and a political tension. Read Serpent and the Wings of the Night if you want witches and huntsmen and that romance, like enemies to lovers. Read that one. Read The Cruel Prince if you want fae politics, betrayal, and morally grey characters. So the next one, I would read A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. These books are amazing. Definitely give it a go. I absolutely love the covers of this. Look how shiny. I love the shiny cover. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. Prince Ran. What a beautiful character. Read Powerless if you want fae trials, also a bit of Hunger Games, and just that kind of enemies to lovers-ish kind of. I wouldn't say it was high up there on enemies to lovers because there's no reason for them to kind of be enemies, but they kind of have this, like, they don't get on and they just have this like banter at the start, and it just develops into something more. So Kingdom of the Wicked. Read this if you want witches, a demon prince from hell. And yeah, what more can I say? If you want dragons, elemental magic, and just a world that is so incredible, I would read Sarah A. Parker's When the Moon Hatched. This book is just amazing. This is one of my most recent reads, and I made a video, and my mic wasn't really that good back then, but in that video I spoke all about my review on this book, so give it a watch. But this is incredible. And book 2 is going to be released in 2 months from now, so in May. I'm so excited. But this has like an amnesia trope. It's like the forgotten memory part of it is just so kind of beautifully devastating, and just learning about her memories, and oh, it's just fantastic. It's got such a good storyline to it, and I can't wait to see where Sarah takes the storyline of this book. I just can't wait. So the series that I love most is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So Throne of Glass will forever be my favourite Romantasy series. It is just so different and unique. The value she puts into the characters' developments is just incredible. I see the female main character in Throne of Glass, the way she transitions into this fierce, like badass woman is just, it's really inspiring to see. I love this series so much, but I don't think I could have started this series into my Romantasy journey. I think because I wouldn't have appreciated it as much as I do now. Because I've seen all the different tropes, I know the different genres of Romantasy, like the witches, the wolves, the vampires, you've got elemental magic, you've got fae mates, you've got everything. I'm so happy that I've read lots of different things and then went into Throne of Glass, and that's when I knew it was my favourite series. Even when I started off from Blood and Ash, and that was just my ride or die. Having read Throne of Glass, I'm sorry, Jennifer A. Armentrout, but Sarah J. Maas does have my heart forever. And it was so good. So once you've read any of the other books that I suggested before, let me know how you get on with Throne of Glass, and let me know in the comments below if you've read it and who your favourite character is and what your favourite book is, because I'm dying to know. So we're moving on to terminology. Terminology is quite a big thing in Romantasy. So you'll hear loads of things on BookTok, like different tropes. You'll hear FMC, MMC, and it's like, what are they talking about? So I'm going to just explain a little bit what these things are. So I've got my laptop here, so I'm just going to read them out to you. So we've got FMC, that means is the female main character, and obviously MMC is the male main character. So when they're referring in the videos, oh, the FMC is so fierce, you now know it means they're talking about the female main character of that book. So in Akata, Feyre is the FMC. Tropes. What is a trope, you may ask? A trope is a recognisable pattern in storytelling. It shows an idea or a concept that the audience understands right away. So we have fated mates, which are destined to be together. So this might be like werewolves, vampires, fae, like those are destined for each other. Enemies to lovers, which is my favourite, which are two people that are enemies, they can't stand each other, they just don't get on, and they, over time with being together, which might be because they have to be together or they're working on something, and then they just develop this connection, and then that connection grows, and then they turn from enemies to lovers. There's some books that go from enemies to friends to lovers, and there's been some that go backwards, so it goes enemies, friends, enemies, lovers, or you might have enemies, lovers, enemies, lovers. So it all depends on the plot and if there's any twists of betrayal, which could flip them back into being enemies. Found family. A found family is a supportive group of friends which is not related by blood. The chosen one. The chosen one is where the protagonist is tasked in saving the world. Slow burn. This is also another one of my favourites. This is where the romance in the book is really slow. You have tension building, like moments of banter and connection. So throughout a book, the character at the start get to know each other. They don't like each other. They're building a slight connection. They have a connection with each other. They're bantering with each other. they have a special moment with each other. And then it gets on and on and on and on to the best bit. That's how a slow burn is. So it's just throughout kind of maybe 3/4 of the book, it's just building this relationship between the characters. And then towards the end of the book, they formed this beautiful relationship and you just want more of it. And that's when you normally go to book 2 and the story continues. Spice rating. What is a spice rating? You see it on BookTok, spiciness, spice rating, lots of different chilies. What does it mean? A spice rating is how much intimacy is in a book. And it's normally rated from 0 to 5. So, and it's like chili peppers. So obviously 1 is kind of low spice, 2, 3 is like medium spice, and 4, 5 is really spicy. And when I say really spicy, you're reading into the book and it's very graphical on their intimate moments, if that's like a good PG way of explaining it. So yeah, if you see on BookTok recommendations of really spicy books, then don't be shocked. There'll be some moments in there that is a bit spicy. So yeah, that's what a spice rating is. Morally grey love interest. This is where the dark, tall, handsome guy who's really grumpy and dangerous and has the bad boy energy protect the female main character, and they have a special bond, and that's what they are. And that is a morally grey love interest. And then the last one I want to talk about is forced proximity. Forced proximity is where 2 characters have to be together. They are in forced proximity where it might be arranged marriage, it might be they're stuck in a world together, or they have to do a mission together, or they have the same goal, or they're going in the same direction. Just anything where 2 people have to be together. And that's when they kind of, because they're together all the time, they then form this kind of beautiful bond. And yeah, the relationship, we see the relationship grow. So my one advice to you is start small. Like I said before, start with a standalone, work your way onto a duology and maybe a trilogy, get to know what you like, the different tropes that you see, write it down, and yeah, get to know your reading style and your reading taste. And one thing I recommend you doing is getting Goodreads. Goodreads is a fantastic way to track all the books you love, the books you want to read, the books you have read, and you can do ratings on them. But I guess another way I like to do is an actual handwritten reading log. So I've got this one here. And as you can see, I've done my most recent one, which is When the Moon Hatched. So I've done my thoughts on that, and it's kind of just my reading log on as I went through the pages on what I kind of liked about the book. And then also I like to do a little thing at the back of my Hall of Fame. So I've got my favourite characters here. So obviously Xaden Ryerson is in my Hall of Fame. I've got Khan from When the Moon Hatched. He had to be mentioned in here. But no, it's just a lovely way of capturing your favourite characters, your favourite parts of the books, and you can just look back on it and be like, wow, I absolutely love this book, and maybe even reread it. I think a reread is so special. I think obviously you'll never have that kind of experience of reading it for the first time, but because you've read so many different books, you come back to it and it's like, oh, like maybe I've forgotten that bit that happened, and you get reminders, and it's just nice to kind of go through that journey again. And for me, I'm definitely going to have to read Throne of Glass again, because that is, I'm just waiting for the right time, because I've got so many books on my shelf that I haven't read. So I haven't read the Book of Azrael yet. I haven't read A Fate Inked in Blood. I haven't read The Heavenly Bodies, or The Veins of the Drowning, or Dark to Thebes. And Crimson Moth. There's so many books on my shelf that I'm like, I need to read, but I really want to reread Throne of Glass because it's my favourite. So yeah, I have that guiltiness of all these books, and all the ones I don't have as well, and all the ones I have on my Kindle. I've got a lot of Kindle Unlimited books I also need to read. I do love my Kindle, but nothing beats a paperback. So my advice to you is start small and then go all in when you're ready. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like more of this content, please give me a like, a subscribe, and comment below on what your favourite romantasy book is. I would love to see that. Happy reading, everyone.